What's up guys, Matchstick Gamer here, and today we're going to talk about is Broly's base Ozaru form, or Wrathful form, whatever you want to call it, Super Saiyan 4? Let's find out. So, I went across the internet and gathered up every bit of information available not only on SSJ4 as to what it is, but also onto what little we know about Broly's base Ozaru transformation, technique, whatever it may be. And for the record, I don't think it's been established what it is. I would lean more towards maybe a technique to some degree, but I'll let y'all be the judge of that. But before we can say whether or not if Broly's form is Super's version of a Super Saiyan 4, maybe we should look at what is Super Saiyan 4. So, I went to the person that created Super Saiyan 4, or more specifically an old interview done by that individual. And of course, I'm referring to Katsuyoshi Nakashiru. Katsuyoshi Nakashiru, if you're not familiar with him, is one of the animators that has worked at Toei Animation for a number of years. I don't believe he currently works there, but he was very fond of Toriyama's art style, and obviously is the man behind the form of Super Saiyan 4. So, Katsuyoshi Nakashiru, in an interview titled The Golden Warrior, was asked, the hairstyle and red fur all over the body are what really made Super Saiyan 4 stand out. He responds with, the thought behind the hairstyle was to take it in a different direction than SSJ3 and make it wild. I made the fur red because it was pretty much seeming strong. I placed lots of important details of impressions. Laughs. Right from the planning stage, images, the idea had to bring together Ozaru Goku and Super Saiyan Goku. Goku with primal power, that sort of thing. So, he doesn't really get too detailed, but there's the concept behind the design. But, let's go a little bit further. So, I then look up the GT Perfect files, for those of you that are not familiar with those. It is 2 guidebooks that were made with GT to sort of like cover. Think of it as the Daizenshu, but for GT. The GT Perfect files, it describes Super Saiyan 4 as, and I quote, the form which draws out the battle power which Saiyans possess out to its utmost limits in this, Super Saiyan 4. It's distinguished by having a different appearance than previous Super Saiyans, with red fur and long black hair. It is called Super Saiyan 4 out of convenience. There's an interesting line. But, due to it being a transformation from Golden Ozaru, it would be no exaggeration to call it a different species from all previous Super Saiyans. Thinking of it as a different species, you could also name such points as the fact that, unlike with 3, he has an adult appearance, despite being transformation of little Goku. Golden Ozaru is the basis of its super power. After succeeding in regenerating his tail, Goku transforms into the mightiest and most violent Golden Ozaru, devoid of reason, who carries out nothing but destruction. When this Golden Ozaru gained a human heart, the result was the birth of the mightiest warrior, Super Saiyan 4, who combines reason with tremendous power. So, there you go. So that's the GT Perfect files description of Super Saiyan 4 and what it is. Now that we have that information, let's go to what little we have on Broly's Wrathful state. So, on a little image that I got a hold of that I'm going to have to admit that I roughly translated. I don't know if it's been posted anywhere else on the internet and translated properly. I couldn't find it. And I'm not saying I'm the first. I'm not going to claim to be the first. So bear with me when I say that this is a very rough translation and I could be way off. But the translation, I believe, reads something along the lines of a state that unleashes the power of a great ape, instead of becoming one, in exchange for losing control of oneself. Alright. And then, in the film, which I managed to learn some stuff from by talking to a few people that got to see the early premiere of it in Japan. Bear in mind, this is after it's already been released in Japan wide, and there's been a lot of fan subs and such on the internet, but I'm asking people to actually went and watch the film in Japan. They tell me that there's a scene where Frieza asks Paragus to explain what's happening to Broly, and allegedly Paragus theorizes something along the lines of that Broly has gained the ability to control the power of his Ozaru form in his human form without any of the associated disadvantages of the bulky transformation. He then apparently goes on to say that there is, however, a downside. Nothing can be done to control Broly now. So, there you go. This is literally all we have. Now, I realize this is not very much, admittedly, but what I can say definitively is that while it does sound similar, you could even argue is similar, I don't think this is Super Saiyan 4, or rather an equivalence to Super Saiyan 4 and Super. Hear me out. First of all, let's point out the obvious fact. Yes, Broly has yellow eyes. And many of you may be saying, well, Super Saiyan 4 Goku had yellow eyes, did he not? And you would be right. However, I'd like to point out that Vegeta and even Gogeta in Super Saiyan 4 both had different color eyes from Goku, so we can't really go off of that. Well, what about his hair? It gets spikier, but I wouldn't necessarily say it gets longer either, much as described. And Broly's form, according to Paragus' theory, and the original statement of his wrathful state, it's implied that he doesn't have control, as to where Super Saiyan 4 is control. So this is not really sounding like Super Saiyan 4. So ultimately, my verdict on the matter is that while this, much like Super Saiyan 4, there is a use of Ozaru in a humanoid form to a degree, but you don't look very much Ozaru. It's pretty much its own separate thing. Super Saiyan 4 is Super Saiyan 4, and Broly's wrathful state, whatever you want to call it, again, I'm not really sure what the official terminology is for it, is just Broly's thing. You know, I'm not really sure how to explain this any differently to you guys, but at the end of the day, I don't think this is Super's way of incorporating Super Saiyan 4 into Super. This is something entirely different. I mean, even then, like, Broly stacked Super Saiyan on top of it, so I mean, it's even further away from it, and Broly doesn't get any Ozaru-like features. You know, he doesn't sprout fur, he doesn't have a tail anymore. In fact, this is a result of him not having a tail. He's using the power of Ozaru, the transformation itself, in his humanoid form with no tail. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I don't see this as them incorporating Super Saiyan 4 into Super. Am I saying that won't ever be done? No, I'm not saying that. But am I saying, is this presently Super Saiyan 4 or some sort of equivalence but in Super? No. It's not. I see no reason to believe that. I'll be linking any sources that I have down below and stuff, which are pretty much just from Kanzenshi.com. As for the other stuff, one of them's unfortunately from a friend that I can't link information of because he doesn't post that on the internet, and the other one's just a random image I found online that I don't know if I'll be able to source that or not. But anyways, that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time, and hopefully this is just something that you found interesting. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video and the rest of my content, share it around if you want to, and let's get talking down in the comment section below. Do you disagree with me, or perhaps is there something else that you know that I don't know? Maybe I missed something. Admittedly, there's very little information out there, but perhaps I overlooked something on either Super Saiyan 4 or Broly's transformation or technique. There's another thing we should discuss. Is it a technique? Is it a transformation? Why don't you talk about that in the comment section below, and I'll try to join in. Alright, thank you guys, and have a great day. Peace. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z/Kai, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super are all owned by Fuji TV, Toei Animation, Funimation, and Akira Toriyama. I do not claim to own any of these. The video and any images that appear were used under fair use.